The Happiness Manager.
Hello.
How did we get here? How is it we now have a designated person to oversee the happiness of our patients? It started off with an idea that I couldn't let go about 8 months ago. You'll get to meet our company's happiness manager in the second half of this video, but before that, you may find it useful to know how this idea became a reality and how to implement your ideas to create any reality you want. I left Korea on a 4-country business trip to China, Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. My first stop was to celebrate New Year's in Shanghai with business partners and friends. There were portions of this trip when I was surrounded by people, but a lot of this trip was done alone. You'll need to have time when you're surrounded by people like you're seeing in this video now, but also time when you're alone in order to think critically. This is exactly how the idea of the happiness manager went from concept to reality. Different people have different opinions on how to do this, but here's what I find works for me. Step 1. Analyze the issue. Keep thinking about it from every possible angle. At this initial stage, you will find your thoughts may be scattered and interrupted. You'll be hanging out with friends.
What is it right now? So it's 4:03.
It's dark outside.
A random musical instrument party may form at a bar where you are. A lot can happen. But once you're free, get back to the analysis. What kinds of questions do you need to ask yourself? What, why, and how are what I find works for critical thinking. What and why are first and second order questions that test knowledge, but it's really how questions that test your critical thinking skills because they force you to come up with solutions. The further up this thinking process you get, the more how questions start to come up. For the idea of a happiness manager, I initially thought, what value will this add to the lives of our patients? What investment is needed? What background information is available? Why aren't others doing this? How am I going to create this program? You spend time thinking and thinking, trying to find as many questions as you can and then trying to answer those questions. With my idea, I realized there was little to no information out there and nothing relevant to what I wanted. This step takes time. I would think about it almost obsessively while walking, at the gym, and in any free time I had. I couldn't let the idea go until I analyzed it as fully as I could. After you've done exhaustive analysis, it's time for step 2. Step 2. Talk to people. Go and ask your friends, acquaintances, and even people who you usually disagree with for their opinions. This is when you will find more what, why, and how questions coming your way. I asked friends, colleagues, mentors, family members, and anyone who would listen what they thought about the idea. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Be ready to have your idea rejected or modified along the way. It's good to be wrong if you can learn from it. Almost all the people I asked were positive on the idea, but this worried me. Am I asking only people who are like-minded? I went to ask people who normally think very differently from me, and they brought up some great points. Some outright said it was an unnecessary expense and a waste. Others questioned if I could find a person who could pull off this position. They forced me to think in ways I hadn't previously imagined, and this leads to step 3. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notifications tab. If you do so, somewhere a puppy will smile. Step 3. Be open-minded, which leads to creativity. By analyzing your ideas and putting it out there for different kinds of people to criticize, it forces us to get creative in order to answer the new how questions that come up. A happiness manager is not a position that has a game plan already made and that you can download online. I had to sit there and force myself to come up with the job requirements, plan out their education process, and find answers to tough questions. Once the first draft was done, top management came in and harshly, and I mean harshly, critiqued my work. This is something I encourage my staff to do. You don't want to be surrounded by people who blindly say yes all the time. You want to be surrounded by other critical thinkers who will agree with good ideas and definitely disagree with the bad. Be open-minded to the possibility that your idea may not be good enough even at this stage. It may be something that doesn't stand up to scrutiny. You may have to drop the idea or refine it here. This is not negative thinking. This is being open-minded to every possible outcome. You have to open your mind to reality. With the idea of a happiness manager, there was a logical and suitable answer to every question, and the idea kept moving forward to step 4. Step 4. Problem solving. This is when the idea grows from a thought to implementation, and you are dealing mostly with how questions. As you go, problems will come up one by one, and it's your job to find the solution for them. For the happiness manager, we did a lot of problem solving before we found her, but a lot of it we did together with her. Critical thinking is what will take your thoughts from the idea stage to the implementation stage. Ideas that have a high possibility of success will survive the process, and ideas that aren't good enough will not. Either way, you'll be better off and you can create any reality you want. Analyze the issue, talk to people, be open-minded, and problem-solving are the 4 steps I use to think critically and make decisions. Which of these 4 steps do you find the toughest? Let me know in the comments below. Being alone for portions of this trip was a great chance to think deeply on my ideas. The time spent with friends was a great opportunity to talk, listen, and learn from their perspectives. Keep a nice balance. You deserve both time alone and time with others. This balance will help you to think critically and make better decisions.
Hello everyone.
Michelle is our company's happiness manager. Our company philosophy is happy patients, happy employees, and happy partners. But who's actually managing the happiness? And then I thought, well, I'm doing it, all of my staff is doing it, but do we have one person in charge of anything? How can I make happiness scalable?
I had never heard of this type of role before in my life, so I had no idea what to expect and what to do. Me and Tony Depunim stayed in a meeting room for a very long time, and we basically discussed everything to do with how to make patients as happy as we possibly can.
So we're pretty lucky here because in our office we have huge whiteboards that cover both sides of walls and sometimes even the back of wall. And we just start drawing and writing absolutely every step that we can possibly think of to make people happy. Once we had a general idea, we started to put it all together, and then one of our managers came in and actually made a happiness score.
She looked at all of our scribbles all over the whiteboards, and she basically found this system that could work for us, which is scoring the happiness of our patients out of a score of not 100 but 200.
If we fulfill all 200 points, that means that our customers' utility has increased and their possibility of being happy is as good as we can make it for now until we refine systems.
The other thing that we also discussed was the human CRM system. So instead of automated messages that are sent out through email that are not personal and it's already been made, we make sure to message every single person with a personal message, and I build an actual relationship with you.
That's a really cool thing because I was advised for a long time just to make it an automated system where you have bots basically sending you out emails. And I always thought that I wouldn't want to be treated like that. I wouldn't want to just be put on somebody's calendar and then just sent. There's some things that are good for automation, but there's some things that need human connection. You will get emails from us, but none of them are automated. We actually have human beings that are sending the emails, but more than that, we now have Michelle who's sending WhatsApp messages, other social media messages, whatever you're using, and contacting you is a series of steps that she goes through in order to give you all the information you need before you come, during your visit here, and when you leave.
So even after you're done with your surgery and you're leaving Korea, I will continue to message you and to make sure that you're aware of everything to expect and to continue building that personal relationship.
It's better, I think, to have a personal relationship with people instead of just automating it and having a basic computer program do it. Computer programs are great, I'm not knocking them. I think it's a worthwhile investment to invest in people's happiness. The way we see Michelle is she's not an added expense to our system. She's a vital part of the system and she's an investment in our customers, which comes back to the philosophy. If we can make our patients happy, we can make our workers happy, and then our partners happy, and it all kind of works out in the end.
So when you arrive in Korea and you get your procedure done, we have a great group of managers and an amazing team of consultants that will help you with the medical side of things and the procedures. But everything else, I'm in charge.
We have managers that help you with your bookings, help you to get the surgery, people that are there translating for you, guiding you, doing the cultural translation, getting you everything that you need, all the aftercare. But there's other things that we might not have thought of.
So when you come to Korea, not only are you going to have a great team of managers to help you and our consultants, you'll also have me, the happiness manager.
Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notifications tab, because if you don't, YouTube doesn't notify you that we actually put out a new video. Make sure you check out my Instagram at @1TonyMedina. Send me a message on there if you want to contact me. That's the best way. If you want a free consultation with our company, consult at SeoulGuideMedical.com. Our website is SeoulGuideMedical.com. And I hope you have a very happy day.